Hi, I'm Weston. I love talking about the Astros, and I'm here to talk about game 145 of the regular season where the Astros win 5-0 over the Oakland Athletics, clinch their 6th consecutive playoff appearance on the backs of two ridiculous performances tonight. Verlander and Yordan's performances were both so ridiculously amazing, I don't know where to start. So we're genuinely going to flip a coin, and whichever it comes up on, we're going to start with. Verlander it is. Ironically, I flipped a Jets coin for an Astros video, but I don't have an Astros coin, so this'll work. Justin Verlander tonight. First game back after a little bit of an injury, right? Just tweaks his leg a couple weeks ago. Misses a couple games. Hunter Brown gets to take his steadfast, and then Justin Verlander comes back. And yeah, he didn't miss anything. 5 shutout innings, no hits, 1 singular walk, struck out 9 Oakland Athletics, only 2 hard hit balls this evening, 12 swings and misses. Justin Verlander looked incredible. He was absolutely amazing tonight, and I'm really speechless, right? Because the season started out where Verlander was very impressive, and you're like, wow, that's great. He had a good ERA, and the underlying numbers were a little sketchy. But the ERA was impressive, and I was speechless because he comes back from Tommy John, and he does that. That was incredible. But what I really want to talk about with Verlander tonight, because I want to make it a little bit about him, because this was a great performance from Verlander, is the difference between a really good pitcher and a generationally great pitcher, because that's what Justin Verlander is, and we've always known that. We knew that when he was a Tigers pitcher, and we've especially come to know that since he's come to Houston, since the trade, since he's been an Astro, and he's had this resurgence in the later part of his career. And not even resurgence, because he was never as good as he has been with the Astros. Every statistic you can look at from the Astros versus the Tigers, everything is better as an Astro, right? He is nearly going to take a full run off of his best career ERA season, right? His best was 2.40. This season, it's currently at 1.78, right? He is unbelievable this season for Justin Verlander. But what I want to make emphasis for is that Verlander started the season off, right? Through his first 10 games, he was having a conventionally good season. His ERA was at 2.23. That's good. That's really, really good. That would have been a career best. Verlander could have looked at the surface level. He could have just looked at ERA and been content, right? Don't worry about the advanced numbers. Just looked at that and been happy. Verlander wasn't content. Verlander, an all-time great, like the all-time greats are wont to do, continued to tinker until he made himself perfect. Through his first 10 starts this season, Justin Verlander had a K per 9 of 8.49 and an ERA of 2.23 and a hard hit percentage of 37.6. In the next 14, this is not even counting tonight's game, which would raise the K per 9, would lower the ERA, it would make all of his numbers better, right? It would make all of them better. But in the next 14, not even tonight yet, has gone up in K per 9. Now it's at 9.58. The ERA has been even better. Now it's dropped and went to 1.55, and hard hit is 33. He wasn't content. My only gripe in the beginning of the season with Verlander, because even with the incredible ERA, I still mentioned, I said his swing and miss stuff isn't there as much, so the strikeouts are going down, which isn't, it happens, it's okay. Giving up a lot of hard contact. Expected ERA wasn't there. But he's fixed it. He has one of the best expected ERAs in the league now. It just blows me away that Verlander started out with a really good season and then made it even better. And, he should just run away with the Cy Young voting this season. And it's just such an incredible comeback story for Justin Verlander. And from season to season, right? Going from 2019 to 2020, missing most of that, pretty much all of that, and then all of 2021. It's an incredible comeback overall for this multi-year story arc, but also just impressive for this season of a pitcher who was great and wasn't content. And by God, you want to talk about great? I'll throw on the Yordan to talk about it. 4 hits tonight, 4 hard hit balls, all of them over 100. The weakest ball tonight from Yordan Alvarez was 108. That was the weakest contact he made tonight, was at 108 off the bat. 3 home runs. 3 home runs, all with expected batting averages over 900. I believe it was 950, 980, and 1,000. It was 108, 110, and 114 for the home runs. All of them well over 430 feet. He reminded the league that he is a monster this evening. And, I mean, and you could tell, he was pissed. He was visibly mad that he singled in the 4th at bat. He was like, are you kidding me? I messed up. And he still singled. Like, he was mad at himself for not homering a 4th time. We got this guy for $19 million. A year for his prime. Thank you, James Click. Also, a great story this evening of my sister was here watching the game with me. Hi, Cassie. I know you watch these. And poor Adrian Martinez, after giving up the home run to Jeremy Pena, my sister just outright said, he's going to hit a 3rd home run right here. And I said, man, I would not face him. I would just walk him. And when he moonshotted the ball on the first pitch of his 3rd at bat, it wasn't so much celebratory, like cheering. It was just maniacal laughter from the both of us. Because we know, we do not have a normal player as our designated hitter. We have a monster as our designated hitter. We have a beast who can crush baseballs as good as any player in our franchise's history. And as far as the StatCast era goes, the best. I would say the best Astro of the StatCast era to this point. Now, obviously, it's going to be tough with Altuve, and I understand if people put Altuve ahead of him. I'm not going to argue it. But, I mean, by God, you just look at the ridiculous numbers that he puts up there with the contact, with the expected statistics. He's insane. He is, and I say insane, ridiculous, a lot, but he's there's no other way to put it. He is tearing the baseball apart, and he's ours for his entire prime for dirt cheap. In a single game, he raised his OPS by 30 points and his WRC plus by 8. And like the offense, like Pena had a home run. He and Yordan would go back to back. That was super cool. Maldi had a base hit for an RBI. That was neat. But it was a one-man wrecking crew on offense and a one-man wrecking crew on the pitching staff. Now, I will say that Phil Maton, a lot of people are probably going to be upset that he gave up a pair of base hits, and the base hit, as soon as he came in to end the no-hitter bid, not that it was much of a bid, only being 5 innings, but he still had a really good evening. 2 innings of work, 1 hard-hit ball, 3 strikeouts, a walk. I think he had 10 swings and misses in 2 innings. Like he had a really good evening. Ryan Stenick came in, gave up a walk, got a pair of strikeouts. He looked really good. Brian Abreu, 9th inning, really, really good. 1 hard-hit ball, gave up only 1 base hit, didn't walk anyone, pair of strikeouts. Like, Abreu looked good. Ryan Stenick, by the way, I knew it, but, like, I didn't know it, I knew he was going to beat the Astros franchise record for ERA by a reliever. And by knew it, I don't mean going into the season. I mean, like, recently I've begun to learn that. But I didn't realize he was leading all of Major League Baseball in reliever ERA, which is just, who had that on the bingo card? And it's something about tonight's game. Maybe it's the fact that every one of your players who leads something on the team played great, right? Yordan, your best hitter, 3 home runs, 4 hard hit balls. Your best starting pitcher, 5 innings shutout with no hits allowed, 1 walk, 9 strikeouts. Your player who's about to set a franchise record for relief ERA had a great, brilliant inning, right? It's things like that really just remind you, that really make you realize that the Astros have built a juggernaut this season. And, I mean, this truly feels, and you might yell at me for saying it, and I don't care. Because you look at the team, you have 3 of the top 8 players this season in WRC plus of the American League, right? Got Bregman, that's 8th, Altuve, who's 3rd, and Yordan, that's 2nd. You have 3 of the top 9 pitchers in Major Not it's pitchers in the American League. I believe it's the American League, but 3 of the top 9 that lead it in ERA for 130 innings thrown for, Javi, Fromber, and Verlander. The best bullpen in the sport, the best rotation in the sport, one of the best offenses. I don't recall a time that they've ever as a team looked this good. And October just cannot come soon enough. And you might say, Weston, saying all of that, you're going to jinx it. And guys, it's not me. Like, I'm saying this verbally. They're all saying it silently. And we can see that. The Astros clinch a 6th consecutive playoff spot, right? That's awesome. That does not, a lot of teams don't ever do that, right? That's a very hard thing to do, especially in a sport like baseball that has a relatively small playoff format opposed to other sports. I mean, football, 14 teams make it in the NFL. 16 teams make it in the NHL, Up until this season, it's only been 10, right? They expanded it to 12 this season, but it's still the smallest group of teams make the playoffs of any sport for baseball. The Astros make it for the 6th consecutive year. They don't even acknowledge it on the field. They handle their business. And Blummer, TK, they said it as best as anyone could. We have bigger things on our mind than simply a playoff berth. And those bigger things are very, very fast approaching. But that's all I have to say for the evening. The Astros play again tomorrow, 7:10 Eastern, 6:10 Central. We are going to send Jose Urquidy to the mound, and the Oakland A's are going to send Cole Irvin to the mound. I'll be here afterwards to talk about it, but that's all I have to say for the evening. So, thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day, and as always, go Astros.